It's an aviation icon, you know, to see or hear.
When it goes over your house, it'll shake the windows.
The mighty Mars is a behemoth. It was initially built for the United States during the Second World War. But it's here in BC where it's used as a water bomber, flying in thousands of firefighting missions.
This fellow who came in here and he was telling me the story of how the Mars in 2010 saved his house in Kelowna.
This summer, it finally got the retirement it deserves. A flight with all the fanfare making its final landing at BC's Aviation Museum in Sydney. From tragedy to triumph, the story of Kwesi Hayes, brave little hunter, will be talked about for generations. Not quite 2 years old, Kwesi Hayes became an orphan, her pregnant mother dying in this inlet off the coast of Zabalas after becoming breached in April. For 5 weeks, the young orca mourned its mother, not leaving the lagoon despite the urgent efforts of rescuers. Then, one moonlit night, she finally found freedom from Little Espinosa Inlet.
It just was waiting for the right time.
It's the epicenter of the capital city's homelessness crisis, Pandora's 900 block.
Started attacking the paramedic.
But after a man receiving medical care for several seizures attacked the paramedic there to save him, came drastic change.
They will no longer be responding to the 900 block of Pandora unless they're accompanied by the Victoria Police Department.
What followed was a collective, renewed focus on removing those entrenched in homelessness on the block. The city began sweeps. The province invested in new shelter spaces, and fences were put up to prevent tents from popping up.
Oh yeah, baby, let's go!
It was an orange wave this August as Capital City became host to the biggest football event to be held on Vancouver Island.
We enjoyed the time being here, but we're all ready to go.
For a price tag of nearly $500,000, the City of Victoria put up a game between the BC Lions and the Ottawa Red Blacks at Royal Athletic Park over Labor Day weekend to a sold-out stadium. The event, according to Destination Greater Victoria's calculations, brought an economic benefit of about $16 million.
Let's go, Lions!
A wildfire broke out in a popular Souk Park in July. It grew quickly, burning nearly 230 hectares, remaining out of control for just over a week. Cooler weather eventually gave fire crews the advantage. Para-attack smoke jumpers helped secure one of the wildfire's border, and rain offered the reprieve needed. In the first week of August, the Souk Potholes wildfire was fully contained. One of the biggest stories across the province happened right here. On the eve of the provincial election officially kicking off, BC United, rebranded from the BC Liberals, imploded, setting off a seismic shift in British Columbian politics.
This is the right thing to do for the province of British Columbia.
Kevin Falcon, the leader of the party, unilaterally suspended the campaigns of all his candidates before endorsing his rival, John Rustad, who he'd once booted out of his own caucus. What resulted was a dramatic reshaping of the province's political landscape.
Hey, hello!
And at times, a messy campaign trail.
He's still an anti-vaxxer.
Their whole campaign is about lies and misinformation and smoke and mirrors.
Climate denier. You rarely see those
the key
two things
piece that we need
together.
to see is the economic development to make sure we can pay for these things.
This is why we're stuck in the 20th century.
In the end, John Rustad and BC's Conservatives came from nowhere to driving the incumbent government to the brink of defeat. With a 22-vote victory in Surrey-Guildford, the NDP managed to cling on to majority. Grizzlies have been gracing our shores for the past 10 years, making the swim across the Johnston Strait. But starting in the spring, a sow and 2 cubs were spotted on Vancouver Island for the first time since the last ice age.
It's actually going on up and down the coast.
The first sign of a slow move-in for grizzlies who may be expanding their territories onto Vancouver Island. A student only 4 months into life at UVic died from an accidental fentanyl poisoning in a UVic dorm in January. Sydney McIntyre Starko's family laid blame at UVic's feet, saying their campus security didn't immediately give her a possible life-saving dose of naloxone, the overdose-reversing medicine.
There are serious questions that need to be answered about this horrific death.
The province immediately called a coroner's inquest into her death. Following criticism, the province also promised change, to buy more nasal naloxone and to create a post-secondary overdose prevention plan to roll out across BC campuses for fall 2024. 2024 was also the year we lost former BC Premier John Horgan, or as he liked to be known, John from Langford. He started his career in the legislature opening mail, making it to the building's top job in 2017. As Premier, he struck an agreement with BC Greens to form government and remained Premier for 5.5 years. He was known for his quick quips.
If you were woke, you'd know that pro-rap is lit.
And passionate debates.
Do you want a headline or do you want action?
His political legacy is clear. He brought in UNDRIP, $10 a day childcare, a clean BC climate plan, and navigated the province through a pandemic. Behind the scenes, Horgan was fighting a different battle, cancer. He beat it twice in his political career, but this summer, after stepping down as Premier and taking a role as Canada's ambassador to Germany, he was diagnosed with cancer for the third time. This one more complicated and widespread.
I loved every minute of it.
Longtime politician, Star Trek fan, devoted husband, father, John Horgan died at Royal Jubilee Hospital November 12th, just 65 years old.